Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining this session. Uh, Welcome to PSF Career and Guidance Weekly webinars. I'll just give a 2 minutes introduction to PSF and then I'll start with the topic. PSF is an NGO formed by professionals, IT and non-IT professionals. Uh, the main aim of PSF is for professionals to be able to serve the society, to do something good for the society. So that was the reason why Professional Solidarity Forum was formed. And so essentially to give a positive change in the society. And we have many professions who are linked to our, our network. We have WhatsApp groups, especially with the job seekers. We have 10 plus WhatsApp groups for Hyderabad, and then we have for overseas, and then for other domains also. We have around 2000 plus job seekers. There are continuous WhatsApp messages being sent regarding the requirements that come in. And then we also have uh, other chapters in Hyderabad, in Delhi and Mumbai. And if you take a look at this screen, so these are some of the activities that we do. Job and career guidance. This is the one which, as part of which we have this weekly webinars. And then this is where we help job seekers get their jobs, help them with any assistance that is possible. We also try to do mentoring, and then we have this weekly webinars also. And then we have our social services domain there where we do some social service. There are other areas that we also work, startup consulting services to professional fraternity. And this is, if you just want to take, join any of, get in contact with any of us, take a screenshot of this. I'll send it out separately also. Yeah, so let's go to our topic today. This is our topic, tips for a good resume. So I will not take full 45 minutes. This is a very common topic, so probably we'll finish off in 30 minutes or so. There is really not much detail that we can go, but this session will provide some tips that will be very helpful. So let me just give it to the presentation view. So what exactly is a resume? Now we know everybody has a resume. Everybody knows what resume is supposed to do. But then when it comes to actually polishing your resume, right? That's where I see a lot of mistakes that are done. So I've been in industry for 16 years. I've seen a lot of resumes, especially with the freshers. The resumes are not up to the mark. They just copy whatever the seniors have told. They just take it and then just make changes in the name or something, and then they just forward. So this session hopefully will clear some of those flaws that are there. Hopefully the takeaway should be at least some tips that you can make your resume look good, so that employers uh, uh, can take a look and give you a call. Okay, so let's get started. Just some basics before we go deep into it. So what is a resume? Everybody knows what is a resume is. Anybody wants to quickly just say a word or a sentence on what exactly is a resume? Anybody? I'll just give a few seconds.
It shows your experience, it shows your skills and knowledge to recruiter.
Right, perfect. Yeah, that's correct. So resume is essentially, it's nothing but a marketing tool. So it's a marketing tool to highlight your skills and achievements. It is not about what qualification you have, what job experience you have. You may be the best person, but then if your resume is not highlighting what the employer needs, it's of no use. So it is essentially an advertising tool. You are advertising yourself. You're telling that these are my skills. You are looking for these skills, and these are my skills. Take a look at my resume. So that is what is resume. And then what is our essential goal of resume? So what do you want to do with the resume? You are giving a resume. What do you expect out of it? At the end, we need a job. That is for sure. But your resume should do an immediate goal. What is that? Anybody wants to say?
Our resume should match the requirements of what recruiter needs.
Right, right. It should match
So
the.
this is our goal, that the recruiter should be happy by seeing our resume.
Yeah. So recruiter should see your resume, and then what should happen is it should give you an interview call. If your resume is not giving you an interview call, then there is some problem with your resume. So that is the ultimate. That is the instant goal of your resume. It should fetch you a call, interview call. If you're applying for 1,000 jobs and you're not getting even one call, then there is some problem with your resume. You will need to check where the problem is, what exactly is the issue with your resume. So this session hopefully will give you some idea on what exactly we need to do, so that employers will give you a call. Okay, so this is essentially the goal of your resume. Eventually, everybody wants to get a job. Everybody is looking for a job. That's true. But then your resume is in a pile of like employers have a huge pile of resumes, and your resume should stand out different. It should not be a common resume. If it is a common resume, like anybody else, why will an employer pick you? Right? So your resume should demonstrate that you have an experience in skills that nobody else has. So that is the ultimate thing that we will need to do. Right? You are highlighting things that nobody else is able to do. So now, see, take a look at this resumes. Right? Employers see on a daily basis huge number of resumes, and 80% of the employers, HRs, when they see the resume, right, within 10 seconds they discard it. Only 10 seconds. They just take a look, 10 seconds, they see the resume, and then they discard it. So the other 20% that are getting selected, right, at least for the deeper look into the resume, they are doing something different that you are not doing. So that's something different is what this session is about. What you can showcase your skills in your resume, that highlight you, that put you separate, that segregates you, that you are in a separate group, which are which is important. Okay, just one thing, one more thing is, let's say you have got a requirement, okay, and then you got a requirement, you are applying for a job. Generally, when you get an requirement, what we need to do is we need to see at least there is an 80% match in your skill set. Okay, if you are not having 80% match of the skill set that is required, your chances are very bleak. So either you need to change your resume so that it matches 80%. Like for example, let's say they are looking for a MTech guy in computer science, and you have a you, let's say you are a for example, masters in arts. You take that resume, I mean the employer will see that, immediately he'll just throw it away, because he doesn't want arts guy for this. So what, in that case, what you should do, you should make sure your other skills, like whatever, leave the qualification, what are the other skills that he's requiring, that is 100% match, so that he can at least consider you. So this is very important for us to understand. So the requirement that the employer is seeing, and what is there on your resume, if there is no match, employer, even though your resume looks good, employer will not consider it. Okay, so this was overview. um, I want you guys to take a look at this resume. And tell me, if do you see any flaws in this resume? Like what exactly this resume is missing? Can somebody tell me? At least some flaws.
Experience, work experience.
Like this is a fresher guy, so he'll not have work experience.
Oh,
So that
okay,
is,
okay.
if you see he's a fresher, he doesn't have work experience. That is
Uh-huh.
perfect.
Okay.
Not a problem. That is not at all a problem.
All
You're
right.
a fresher, apply for a job, right? Apparently, at the looking at it, don't you see some problems here? I can see at least couple of problems. The Microsoft
Yeah,
Word itself.
the problem is in this XP Windows. I think we have to correct it by spell check.
Correct. That is
Showing
one.
red indication. Red
Yeah, this is
indication.
this is one problem.
Yeah,
What other
yeah,
thing
red indications.
is another problem. True. So all
Yeah,
the this is Word itself is giving you this. So we should correct this at least. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
What other problems you see? See here, career.
yeah. This also carrier spell check.
What is this value based? It's a
Value
grammar.
based. Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
grammatical. Yeah.
B Tech also.
BTech is fine. That is fine. Because this
Even there are a lot
Yeah,
of alignment mistakes also. Alignment,
exactly alignment mistakes. Very good. Very good.
alignment. Yeah.
And see, if you are an employer, right? You take this look. You take a look at this, and you say, do you really find him any useful for you?
No.
See, look at this. What is the need for date of birth? What is the need for father's name? What is the need for marital status? What are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
going
True.
you are going to do with this?
True.
Really nothing. Career objective, this is okay, he can put it, but then really not required. Why do you need a career objective? Unless you're changing field or something, it's not a mandatory thing. Second thing, personal skills are highlighted here. Self great. But see, these are skills that anybody can tell, right? I can also say I am a hardworking person. What is the guarantee that you are a hardworking person? What is the proof that you are a hardworking person? So, what an employer is looking for, except for education, I don't see there is any other match here. And look at this fonts. This is not a professional one. So, the ones which you see here, I don't know which color this is, but this is not a professional looking one. No employer will happy. I mean, take a look at this resume now. Only the date you take. This resume is a. If you see this resume, uh, don't you see this is better than the other one?
Yeah, yeah. This
yeah.
is better. This
This
is
is better.
yeah. This is fine. Yes.
Yeah, this looks much more professional, right?
Yeah, yeah. Of
And
course.
look at this, what he has highlighted. So here he said negotiated, concluded, implemented, and then secured. So these are nothing but very important action verbs. These are called action verbs. So here, what is the thing? Work with self-confidence, great patience, analyzing every angle of a project. Okay. Here, secured, third. So there is a difference. There is a difference in the tone itself. Here, they are telling, I am already doing this. I have secured something. I have mentored somebody. I negotiated, and then everything is if you see is value, some quantifiable value. Example is X organizations, X dollars, X cities. Here it's all in air. Self confidence is in air. Attitude, everything is in air. Anybody can say anything there,
नहीं रे
right?
समझा
This, for example, he is properly highlighting. He's saying that I have done something and then I have actually earned some amount. I have done some quantifiable change in the society. So this is a very good example of a resume. So let's go to the, yeah, so this is the one which I said, right? So take a look at this. Again, we'll go through each of these sections and see what needs to be done. We'll do that in a second. Okay, so just 1 second. Okay, so employers, right? They are look for two kind of skills. One is hard skill, one is soft skill. So hard skills are nothing but skills that are quantifiable. For example, you are a computer literate, and then you are accountant. You know this Java, you know this particular software. That is a hard skill, right? And then soft skill, they are something that you cannot measure. So that's that just now what we saw, right? Self confidence, patience, all these are soft skills. So what employer is looking for nowadays in the 21st century, these are the 5 in-demand soft skills. So these are the skills that you, if they are there in your resume, that will highlight your resume. So these are the things that they are looking. But then you cannot directly say, okay, I am creative, I am persuasive, I am collaborative. So creativity, you know what creativity is. Persuasion is something that you're trying to persuade your other members on the team to do something. You got an idea and you're telling them that, okay, let's do this idea. Collaboration is team, is a team player. Are you a team player or not? You are working with people on a project. Adaptation is you are working on one technology, suddenly new technology comes, suddenly AI came, artificial intelligence, you are jumping into adaptation. And then emotional intelligence is how you are treating others, how what is your level of understanding, what is the empathy that you have for others, right? So these are the skills that they are looking for. But then look at this, these are not so easy to write in your resume. It is very difficult to write these things. So what you have to do, you have to give an instance. You, like for example, in the last resume you saw, he said secured something, he said negotiated. Negotiation is nothing but persuasion, right? He's negotiating with somebody, that means he's persuading somebody to do something. Collaboration, for example, collaboration, let's say you do you organize an event. It can be any event, it doesn't have to be official event, it can be outside also. You're organizing event, so you write that I have organized an event with this many people. So what organizing event means, it involves collaboration, it involves persuasion, it involves creativity, all of that is involved. So, so these words we cannot directly put it in your resume, but then this should come out from some of the action verbs. So let's discuss that in a few slides. Okay, then there are types of resume that we have. Reverse chronological resume, which is our standard resume that we have. Everybody has this resume only. Then functional, and then combination, and then we have infographic resume. So functional, I'll discuss in the next slide. Combination is combination of reverse chronological resume and functional, both. You're combining both them. Infographic resume is something that is coming up recently. I've seen some resumes there. A lot of graphics are there in the resume, where you are shown with some kind of bars, some colors, different colors. This is not recommended. Let's not discuss about it. There are other types of resumes also. Let's not discuss about these. Let's talk about reverse chronological, which is the most common used resume. By default, is the resume type we use. Okay. So this is what it does. It is essentially your resume in the normal format. So you have your resume, you have your work experience one by one. You're just writing in the descending order. So your latest job comes first, and then the next job. So this is a very useful thing. We discuss this only. This is useful when you are in the same field. You are in Java field. You are applying for Java job position is good. So your career path is already defined. So that's when this resume comes in. We all know it has name, contact detail, education, project, work experience, others. So these are the logical sections that we have. Functional resume, it will be useful for some of us. I know for sure, because there are few people usual who have come from overseas, they don't have they have gaps in their resumes. So this resume is a very good sample in that scenarios. So it is not a common. Not
यार
it's so it's not a resume that is commonly used. So what we try to do with the functional resume, as the name suggests, right? It is emphasizing your accomplishment, right? You want to apply for some job, and then you want to apply for some job, and you don't have that skills, right? Or you're changing your career. For example, you're changing your career, or you have changed your job so frequently that it's a mess up. If you go in a reverse chronological order, it's just messed up. It just says 3 months this job, 6 months this job, 6 months this job. Again, like it just bloats everything. So in that scenarios, we'll go with a functional resume. It is helpful in such scenarios. So what we are trying to do with this functional resume is, there is a requirement, and you essentially want to only target that requirement. All other information you just want to remove it. So all only relevant information we just want to put it there. So that is the thing. So logical section, it is divided into this thing. So usually we don't encourage having a summary on the top. You can have it; it's an optional thing. But for functional resume, you need to have a summary. So let me give you an example. It gives you more. It gives more clarity. So this is, for example, a functional resume. Take a look at this. So what is this guy saying? He's just not talking about his jobs. There is no mention of jobs. What is his recent job? None of that is mentioned here. What is, whether there is a gap in this, in his previous employment? What is the reason for gap? All that is not mentioned. What he's saying is, you have some requirement, and these are my accomplishment, and these accomplishments match the requirement, right? And that is the reason he's putting education also in the bottom. So it's a very good resume if you are looking for a, if you have a big gap in your resume, or you came from overseas and you don't have that skill set. Or for example, you're changing, let's say you're changing from one domain to another domain. You are accountant, you want to go into IT. How do you do that? So what if you just put everything, whatever your existing work experience with accountants here, and you put your resume, it will be rejected immediately, because you don't have any IT experience at all. So what employers will see is, in that case, what you do, take courses, put something here that is relevant to what is the job that you're applying, some certifications that you did, some courses that you took, just put it there, and then just ignore all the other things. Don't talk about your employment job gap. Don't talk about your employment history, what all jobs you change. All that you skip it. So let me know if anybody has this kind of requirement. If anybody wants to have a functional resume, just I'll give you my email address. Ping me. Let's discuss and see if we can come up with a functional resume. Mostly, it is not the case. Not many people need this, but if there is such a requirement, let me know. I can help you there. Okay. Any questions on the types of resumes? Okay. So let's go to guidelines. So these are very helpful tips. As I told, 80% of resumes are discarded in just 10 seconds. Employer sees your resume and then he just discards it immediately. He doesn't even care. And so what we need to do is, our resume should be different from others, right? It cannot be like everybody's. It has to stand out something. It has to show something different. So this is what we'll need to do is, this we already discussed, avoid personal information, data, but it's really not required. Nobody is interested in marital status. Nobody is interested in date of birth. All this is not required. Check for spelling mistakes. It's very important, very, very important. Grammatical errors, never make that mistake. Even we have tools that will help you do that. It's not a big deal. Even Microsoft Word also does it. And then finally save it as a PDF. It's better to save it as a PDF because we don't want anybody to change it. So let's go to the in detail for each of this. Resume length. What is the resume length that we should have? In the example that we saw, right, for a fresher, it was a two-page resume. Two-page resume is never for a fresher. Fresher should never have a two-page resume. It should always be one page for a fresher. Two pages for an experience is okay, but then that also, if you see uh, the survey that was done, companies only prefer 50%, almost 50% of the companies prefer one page. They don't want two pages. Nobody, even if there is a two page, they'll just take a look at first page and almost decide there itself. So let's squeeze all your resumes to one page resume. This is the font. What is, so your name, right, on the top, the name is coming. What should be the name? uh, Size should be 24. Size of your name should be 24. What are the fonts? These are the three recommended fonts that you should have: Arial, Times New Roman, and Calligraphy. Only three. Similar ones also can be used, but similar ones can be used, but these are the recommended. Please go with these things. So this is 24. The sections that we have: education, work experience. These are all 12. All others are 10. So remember this: 24, 12, 10 is the rule. And yeah, there was one question about photo. No, this is not recommended. We should not have a photo on your resume. Nowadays, nobody, employers are not interested in that part. You can avoid photos. Okay. So now the actual content of your resume. Objective, as I discussed, is not required. Really not required. What you're going to say is, I want to improve my skills. I want to get a challenging work. Also, the the fact that you have created a resume and applied it, that itself shows that you are looking for a job. You really don't have to tell about your objective of the resume. Everybody knows this, so this can be completely skipped. Profile summary. Now this is interesting. Some people have profile, some people have summary on the top. This is optional, you can put it, but for a functional resume, this is very important. So in your functional resume, you're saying you're looking for because you're changing the careers, right? Or you have a gap in your resume, you're changing your careers, so you need to tell that I am looking for this particular thing. So this is what I am looking for. So that is what you need to, I mean, you cannot say directly that you're looking for, but just in a proper way, you just emphasize that you are looking for this kind of work, this kind of thing. So that's where functional resume, you should have a profile and summary. But otherwise also is fine if you don't have, no issues. Name should be in bold and in center. Contact details, email, phone numbers only. You don't need to write your whole house address. It's not required. Nobody is sending a postal address. So that is totally not required. See, the golden rule of resume is, anything that is not required, that employer is not looking into, just skip it, remove it. No, not required. If employer wants that, only that should be put. Email, yeah, email should be there because he's going to contact you through email. But of course, it should be a professional email. It should not be like bond007@gmail.com. That kind of things are not acceptable. Skype details optional. LinkedIn, if you have a good LinkedIn profile, only if it is a good, put it in your details. Date of birth, marital status not required. Education or work experience. Now in your resume, first comes profile summary, name is actually on the top, and then you have contact details, you have profile summary, then education or work experience. You can put any of these, but whichever you want to emphasize more. Let's say your education is good. For example, you are a NIT, IIT. Put your education first. Or you are fresher. Put your education first. But if your work experience is much better than education, then put your work experience on the top. No issues. There is no hard and fast rule. Coming to education, this is a standard one. Everybody knows this: name of education, location, degree, title, BTech, MA. But then grade, a lot of people put it. But then there are like 50%, 60% you're getting, and then you're putting grade. It's not really required. So don't highlight something that is your weakness. So if you have something, if you don't want employer to look into something that is not required, don't highlight that part. Example, you can say BTech in computer science. You can highlight Usman University, BTech, that kind of thing. Or you can say in a two thing JNTU, Bachelor of Arts, overall grade 80%, like this. Any of the formats you can use. So freshers, they will not have work experience. So what they have to do is, so I see a lot of freshers, right? What they do is, because they don't have any experience, they just write the education and that's it. After that, they all write hobbies, interests, all that stuff. See, employer is looking for some concrete uh, projects that you have done. So there will be some projects you'll do in your engineering or in your education, right? Put that project. It can be research, it can be any project experience. If there is nothing, then do one thing. Take some professional courses, Udemy, Coursera. There are so many professional courses, or do some certifications, SCJP, some kind of certifications that are available, right? Amazon, whatever that Amazon has, right? AWS certification. Take the certification, put it here. That gives a very important, very good impression. So this is very important. I think folks should take this as a very serious thing. Even this is not just for freshers, even for people who have gap, right? Let's say you have a gap of 1 year, you didn't do anything, you didn't get a job, or some personal reasons you are out of job for 1 year. What do you say in that case? You just don't write anything. If you don't write anything, it gives a bad impression. Then what you do, take some certification, take some online courses. Say that this 1 year, even though I was jobless, I still tried to get my skills updated. I took some courses, I took some professional courses, I took some certifications, and highlight all of them here. This is very, very important. Take a note of this, and that will give a very good impression to an employer. Work experience, all the jobs, any volunteering work also will come here. You do any volunteering, let's say you are part of PSF, you're doing some volunteering work, just put it here. Internship, very good. If you can do an internship, do it, especially for freshers. Put that in work experience. Skills is a section that you can have. We saw in the first case, right? Windows XP, that kind of thing. But it should be proper. It should highlight the required skills that are there. Honors and awards, it's very good. If you are an employee, you got star of the employee of the quarter, employee of the year. Just put it here. Okay, now the most important part. For each of the job that you did, whatever job you did, right? You need to have these things here: employer name, title, duration. Last 3 points, last 2 points are extremely important. 3 to 5 bullet points describing what you accomplished. Okay, so what I mean by that is, we saw in the good resume example, right? Three bullet points. What See, my employer is not interested in what was the project, details of the project. He doesn't care about that. It is, even if you tell him, he'll not understand it also. But what he's interested is, what did you accomplish in that job that you did? And for that bullet points that you're putting, whatever you accomplish, it should be a strategic vocabulary. It should be a vocabulary which will highlight that you have done something good. So these 2 points will separate you from others, and link all of these three to five bullet points with whatever in-demand soft skills that we have, right? So we discussed about collaboration, persuasion, emotional intelligence, and adaptability, right? all of these should be linked. So these three are extremely important. So take a look at this. This is what employer looks for. So you focus on only your skills and achievements, uh, and then you selectively talk about your jobs. You talk about your accomplishments. So this is what I'm talking about. Quantify your accomplishment. Say I did 50% client satisfaction, 30% increase in revenue, 70% spike cost saving. These are very important. And then uh, yeah, so these are done through your action works. And uh, and then you have what else is there? Yeah, so you may have, let's say you did 5 jobs, right? But why do you not let's say 2 jobs are, for example, you are working as a desktop engineer, and you are looking for some other job which is not relevant. So don't give importance to those. Talk only about the jobs that are relevant to the JD. Whatever employer is looking for, that is what you want to highlight yourself. So prioritize. So all of this requires you an extra effort in making your resume. So your resume is not like just make one resume, float it everywhere. It doesn't matter what it is, you will get rejected. So you have to make sure your resume uh, is tailored for each of the job requirements. So you're looking for IT, you should have that requirements properly highlighted in that order. So I want to talk about probably this one of the last slides we have. Yeah, so you need to avoid hardworking, responsible. All this stuff is not at all good. Employers don't give any value to this. Probably do these things. So you want achievers, right? So you can talk about engineer. You can say I delivered this thing and executed this thing. But all of these, if they are added with the quantifiable examples, wonderful. That will for sure you will be highlighted. You say I mentored 3 people in my organization. I orchestrated this particular software. I executed this project with 2 people and in a shortest span. That kind of thing. So these are important action verbs. Samples, for example, if you see, these are some samples that we have. Take a look. For example, he's saying 10% increase, X amount of dollars. So now let's say you are talking about your communication skill. Take a look at this last slide. What you're saying? You're saying you you're saying you're good in communication, but then what did this guy say? Utilized strong interpersonal skill to serve customer. Received Employee of the Month award twice. So he's tying his communication with award. So these are the things that will highlight. Instead of you can say I have good communication skills. That also is the same thing. But then this, take a look at this. It says utilize strong interpersonal communication skills to serve customers. This will be very helpful. So these are the things. I think that is all I had today. Probably, yeah. Okay. Mm. Yeah. Let me finish this, and then we can take
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Q&A.
Okay.
So keywords, of course, the most important, because all the bots and everybody, they are just looking for keywords. Whatever skills you are, that keyword should be there. One resume for all applications. This is not a good idea. But you should tailor your resume depending on the requirement. So you are applying for a job, you make sure they have this requirement. Let's say they are asking for Python. You don't have Python. You can say, okay, I, or you just quickly take an online certification or YouTube, and then say, okay, I learned Python on my own, something like that. So tailor-made your resume, it will be very good. And then for freshers, volunteering organizations, that's very helpful. Internships helps a lot. So if you're a fresher, go to organization. If you're not having a job, go do some volunteering, join PSF, or do something, learn some transferable skills. So you need to learn something that is transferable. That you can use for your new next job. Internship, very good. Organization events, very good. Let's say you're organizing events. It can be, it doesn't have to be in official. You can organize events in some NGO also. Shows that you are creative, you are collaborative, and then these kind of soft skills. Let's say you have a huge gap in your education, or you have gap in your education, or in work, doesn't matter. It's the same thing. What you did, the point is, how did you use this time? Just tell them that, convince them that you use this time properly. Even though there is a gap in education, even though there is a gap in work experience, you say, you highlight them that, no, I did not waste my time. I upskilled myself. I learned new technologies. I did these certifications. I did this online courses, and these are the things that I have done. Really important, really important. Don't waste your time just while you're trying for a job. Never do that. Take some courses. Look at edX. Harvard. There is one open source, right? Recently, because of COVID, they have opened it. edX.com is there, and then Coursera also has a few free courses and then some paid courses. Udemy has very cheap courses. Take 500 rupees. Just take a course in your area, whatever you're looking. You're looking for Python. Take a quick course. Finish it off in 1 week. Add it in your resume that I did my Python course. That is very important. Of course, you don't want to include any irrelevant information. You may be the best in sports, but you don't want to put that in your resume because nobody is interested. Like, how good are you in your how good are you in something? Okay, so yeah, so probably the last link is, these are some useful links, uh, and then yeah. Okay, so I think I can stop here. I just want to take 1 minute and show this video. Very helpful. Take a look at this video, and then we'll open up for questions. So use keywords from the job post. So what? So take a look. So you have a JD. There are some keywords. Those keywords are not there in your resume. You have to make sure those keywords appear somehow, so that at least you get a call. Otherwise, the bots itself will discard your resume. So this is your hard skills. Whatever hard skills that you have, just add those hard skills. So this is your soft skills. Highlight your soft skills here. So achieved 120% growth. So this is nothing but action verbs with quantifiable results. So this is what I was talking about in the book. So he has removed anything that is irrelevant. He just removed it. You don't want everything in your resume. It's not a chronology of whatever you did from your engineering, right? So that's not resume. Whatever is relevant, he's just put it. Right. That's yeah. So these are some useful links. I'll send out these in the email. Just post your email address in the chat. I'll send out email address. Meanwhile I'll just post my email address in case you want to personally get in touch and want to review your resume. Send your resumes. I'll review it. I'll make some changes if needed. I'll send it back to you. Yeah, I think that's all I had for today. Yeah, any questions?
See, actually, you know, as you said, 2 pages should be the limit for experienced person.
Right.
So, but you know, some people have a lot of experience. so many years of experience, so it's difficult to merge. So what is the best way? Do we need to reduce the points?
No, no, no. Don't
Because almost
reduce.
all of them, they are important. Yeah.
No, no. Don't reduce your points. Fonts. The whatever I have told, right? The fonts and the size. They are always. They should always be the same. 24, 12, 10. That is the recommended. If it is small or it's big, it's not advisable.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying fonts exactly. I'm saying points, points of experience. The work experience. Let's say I have
So
the
what?
responsibilities. Yeah.
Right, right. So what you can do is you can put your profile section on the top. In the profile section, you summarize these points from all your experience and put it there.
Uh-huh.
That itself is sufficient. And then in the work experience, you can decrease. You don't need to describe the job itself. So what we are
Okay.
essentially looking for is what you have accomplished, right?
Hmm.
Details of the project are really not important. What we need is what you have accomplished as part of your earlier organization work done. So in the
Hmm.
summary, write down what you have accomplished in the bullet points. So profile section. So let go to the profile section. For example, here doesn't have. For example, this is my resume. So this is the profile section, right? So here you write down whatever you want to write in
Okay.
detail, and then you can reduce all the other stuff there. So but it should never be more than two, because even if I said, right, even if it is 2 years, even if it is more than 2 pages, they only see the first page is the only important page they are looking for. So if
Uh,
they are happy with the first page, they'll go with the second page, otherwise they'll not even go further.
you mean with the summary mainly, profile summary.
Summary, yeah. If you
This
are
is the
highly,
primary. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
go with the profile summary. It will give you a good impression. So,
Uh,
for example, the functional resume that I showed, right?
True.
So, this is a good example. If you see functional resume, yeah, like this. Just talk about your uh, summary, accomplishment, all of them in one page. That is a good case. But yeah, don't go beyond 2 pages. 2 pages is the maximum it should go.
And does PDF affect any? Yeah,
No, it's
I
more
mean
for a
selection.
security purpose, because if it is
Just
built
okay, sir.
Word, then what happens? Anybody can
Just for
change.
professional look also. Yeah.
Right, professional look also, yeah.
Okay.
Because Word, it doesn't look good. If you see, right, it doesn't look that good. Again, all these marks, green marks, red marks will start coming up. So PDF
Is
is
it
very good.
okay? Is it advisable to put diagrammatic figures,
Yeah, so infographic resume, right?
skills? Like skill set. Let's say.
I
Normally, I've
understand.
seen this
For example,
job
take a look at
sites. Yeah. Yeah.
take a look at this infographic resume. So these kind of things, right? Not
Hmm.
really required, because these are things. I mean, nowadays they are. I see a couple of them, especially from NIT people I've seen, but really not required. You can. I have this link also in this page. Here, I have this link. I can give you.
Normally,
I'll
CV
share.
builders, they are doing all these things. For example,
Right,
maybe
right,
four
right.
years back, yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
did something with Naukri.com, and they have prepared all this diagrammatic,
So,
like designing.
so here also, if you see, generally speaking, unless requested, I prefer traditional resumes. Infographic is not. I mean, maybe it will come. So there are video resumes also nowadays,
Uh,
but not really recommended, I think. So take a look at this particular balancecareers.com. I have in my PPT also. I'll share this. So this is very good. What is a functional resume, and then what are the guidelines and what to include. It's a very good link on getting. And then there are a lot of other resources also. It's just giving all that information. Even there are some videos also how to prepare uh, career change. If you want to do work from home job, you want to do, all of these are there. I'll just send out this in the, probably I'll just put it here in the chat, just so that folks can copy it. And then if you send out email, I'll send my PPT also there. You can take a look. Hmm. Is there any other question that is there? Otherwise we'll call it. Okay.
What about the appreciation certificates? Like Employee of the Month, all these things. Is it fine to mention other certificates and achievements?
It is very important. Yeah, I don't know if I cannot tell that, but then um, honors and awards are very important. They should come here. We should always put honors and awards. I think in the good resume sample also, if you see,
Okay.
yeah. So this is very important. Honors and awards.
But no need to mention other things like cultural. For example, I'm saying if you are, I think you said already about sports and cultural programs, activities. If you are good with that, those things.
I mean, you can put it, but then not really required because
Uh-huh.
that is not directly related to the job that you're applying, right? So if it
Yeah, yeah.
is somehow related, if it indirectly also if it gets related, then it's good. But otherwise, it's not required. Even hobbies and
Okay.
interests also are not
Not
recommended.
required. Okay.
Not recommended. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And
but
sir, one
you can
last question from my side. Does multitasking also might be the reason of CV rejection? For example, I was working as operations manager for 13 years, but I was having a lot of things. I was dealing with financials, HR, logistics, inventory management, all these things. So, do
okay.
you think if I want to apply as a operations manager or operations team leader, whatever, do I need to put everything in the CV or just I need to
Yeah.
keep
So
on customizing as per the requirement?
that is where your functional resume comes in. So you only highlight what you want, what you're applying for. You're applying for, what did you say you're applying for?
Let's say
Uh,
operations manager
Operations,
or
right?
operations team leader, whatever.
Right,
Yeah,
right. So have your
but it
resume
reflects
that only,
everything.
yeah. Sorry?
But my CV reflects everything. The problem is, so I'm
Exactly.
thinking
Yeah.
maybe they will. Yeah, there is no specialized format.
Exactly.
I mean, specialized profile. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the precise reason why we have this functional resume. Take a look at the Indeed. I'll give you the link also. But see, the functional resume is what will, when you are changing careers or you have done lot of job changes, right? That's where functional resume comes in, where you only highlight what you want to go now. You're applying for operational manager, all your accomplishments, all your earlier projects, just ignore them. Just put whatever is relevant to operational manager, put it that in your resume. Because if you start putting everything in reverse chronological order, the employer will
yeah.
see that and then say, "Arey, what this guy has everything, he's not fit to what he's not having information of what I'm looking for." So that's where he'll just ignore you. So you should stand out. You should your resume should say, "Okay, acha, I have this, or I am looking for operational manager. I have this skill set, and I have done something similar, or directly or indirectly, I have done something similar earlier," and highlight only those part. Ignore the other part, or put it in your second page if you want to, or just decrease it. I mean, just don't give that much importance to those parts. So take a look at this resume. Like for example, he is only talking about whatever he's looking for. He's only talking about those resume. There is no uh, job experience. What companies he worked on. All that stuff is not there. Try this
See,
functional resume.
yeah. See, actually, I will tell you one thing. What's happening? See, while you are sending an direct email to the recruiter, you can keep customizing and you can send it. But the issue is, when I'm registered on Naukri.com with one profile,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
say I'm registered with finance profile. At that point of time, the recruiter is looking for guys with marketing, but my profile is just saved with only finance. So he
right.
will be able to see my profile only with finance.
Yeah, that's
So
the part.
yeah.
Yeah,
So what I meant to say is, once I change in Naukri with something, let's say at that particular time, let's say the recruiter is looking for some other profile. Unfortunately, my profile is not
skipped. Yeah,
being
I know.
highlighted. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's getting hidden. Hidden.
yes,
So
yes.
what is the solution for this?
That probably I don't know what. Probably we'll have to talk to HR and see
Yeah.
what we can do.
Actually, currently
But
I'm facing this problem, sir. This is the issue, because
I
yeah,
understand that.
in this case, customize is not possible. We need to mention either everything or else, we should have 3 4 profiles on Naukri.
Or you can do one thing. So
Yeah.
take a look at whatever company you want to apply. Apply directly instead of from Naukri.com. Apply
Uh-huh.
directly from that from that company itself. Go to the website,
Okay.
search for vacancies, customize your resume, send it.
Yeah, that will be possible. But some people they are not. I mean, some profiles they are not mentioning the company name. I think they are consultants. Some of them they are mentioning confidential companies. Mostly, I think they are consultants who are not mentioning the company name. I believe
True, true, true.
on Naukri. Yeah,
Well,
but your
yeah,
idea is good. That if there is company mentioned, then better to go in the career link of the company
right.
website.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that requires a lot of effort, but it pays off. Eventually, it pays off. So
exactly.
that's
Yes,
very
yes, yes.
good
True.
thing. We should
Yeah.
always. So yeah,
All right.
go for your ideal company. So find your ideal company. So this is the last point I missed it. So research the company. Find the ways to connect your HR
Yeah.
as much as information possible. So essentially, we only need one job, right? So
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
we just do it properly for one company. If you get an interview call, and then from there you just handle it properly, no issues.
Hmm.
So the thing is, you should get an interview call. Your resume should make sure you get a call. For that, we'll have to polish our resume. We'll have to do some research on the company. This is very
Yeah.
important. I think.
But the consideration will be there, right? If we go directly on the company side, because
Yeah,
most of the
yeah,
companies they are
sure.
outsourcing to the job
No,
boards.
no, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Nothing. That's what your resume. If it stands out, for sure they'll consider. There is no such thing as coming only from consultants like that. Your resume should stand out. The
All right.
moment they take a look at your resume, they should know, okay, okay, this guy has something for us, and then they'll consider you.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks a lot for the time. I really appreciate. Send out email to my email address or put it here. I'll send out this PPT as well as the links. There are some very useful links I have put here. Take a look at them. It will give you a good understanding. I have tried to accumulate from these. You also just take a look. It's very helpful too. Thanks everyone. Thanks a lot for your time. See you next week. Bye bye.